Ok, ok. Deberíamos estar en vivo en estos momentos. Verifiquemos sonido, sonido. Sí, excelente. Estamos transmitiendo en vivo en estos momentos. Aquí nos encontramos. Un saludo. Okay, we are live. Okay, we are live. We are live once again. Once again, we are live. We are back to this new training about cryptos. Let me just tell you that this is gonna be really, really important for all those people who wants to know about cryptos, and for those people who want to invest in cryptos. As you can see, the title of this live stream says 4 tips to invest in cryptos in 2022. So I invite you to stay tuned, watch the video until the end so that you can find out what is all this info about, so that you can know more about this. You can be informed in order for you to make a good decision regarding to cryptos in this 2022. So just let me share my screen here. I want to fix a few things before. Just give me a second. And at this time, we are going live. We are going live via Instagram and YouTube. So I want you to place the hashtag in the comment section. Just type hashtag live if you're watching this live, or just type hashtag replay if you're watching this on a replay, so that I can see who is connecting live during these Zoom calls and who is watching this on the replay. If you think that this info is valuable, please share this with some other people so that they can find this info as well. Please share this with the world. Do not keep this info just for you. You know, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. So just let me hit the share button, me as well. And we are going back again. Just give me a few seconds here. I'm going to share this to Facebook and Twitter so that more people can find out this info as well. It is very important that you share this out. The title of this video and the info that I'm about to share with you is going to be quite relevant for you during this 2022. And just let me share this. If you're watching this, please also share this out so that more people can see this info live or on the replay. Let me see what is going on here. What is going on? What is going on? Okay. Let me share this once again. Once again. As you know, this is live, so that I need to do a few things in order to start correctly and before starting the topic. So just, I want you to stay there for a few seconds and please just stay tuned until the end of the video. Okay, let me see. I'm going to share this to the Twitter community. This is Twitter. Remember, if you're watching this, follow me in our Twitter account, which is at Digital Wealth. Dash at the bottom, W at Digital Wealth, dash at the bottom, W. So that is Digital Wealth. That is the account for our community. And you can also follow me in my own account on Twitter, which is at Javier Orozco .io. No, at Javier Orozco .im. That is my account on Twitter. So you can follow me there for you to find more of this info. Let me remind you, on Twitter, at Digital Wealth, dash down below, W. And my own account, which is at Javier Orozco, dash down below, I am. That is the account for Twitter for both of my social media. And on Facebook, you can follow me on my fan pages, which are at Digital Wealth, dash down below, W. That is my account for Digital Wealth. Let me hear the share button here. For tips to invest cryptocurrencies in 2022. I'm about to go live. Where? Actually, we are going live at this time. So just let me hit the share button once again. For all the Facebook communities. Let me see. And I think we have shared it out enough for those people who wants to know about this info. I share with the people on Twitter, and I have shared this with the people on Facebook. So now I'm about to share with you the slide. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see better. Here we go. 4 tips to invest in cryptocurrencies during 2022. Okay, in 2021, cryptocurrencies gained great popularity, and it is expected that in 2022, they will continue to grow. Here, I will leave you some tips that you can take into account when investing in crypto assets. For your information, this is Javier Orozco. I am the CEO at Digital Wealth. I love video marketing and I love creating communities for all those topics that I'm talking to you right now at this point. Tip number 1 that I'm telling you at this time, educate yourself. Stay informed will avoid many inconveniences. Education is essential when investing, especially in this technology that is relatively new. and has concepts unknown to most people. As the saying goes, a day without learning something in crypto is a day wasted. The best thing is always to know what you are investing in, know the assets and projects that catch our attention, and we see the potential. You have to understand that no matter how much everyone talks about a project, a coin that has many zeros in front, that is 0, comma, 0.0000001, and that is something which is telling you that the coin is so cheap, but that doesn't mean that it is necessarily a good investment. And here is where education takes a greater relevance, because by educating yourself, by training you, whether in crypto or not, you acquire more knowledge, you become more skillful in this field, in addition to a series of tools to evaluate investment or manage this technology criteria, personality, to identify it as the most convenient and convincing for you. Tip number 2, do not invest more than you can lose. This could be quite confusing for some people, because they may think that when they invest in crypto, they're gonna lose. But the thing here is that they need to know what amount of money they need to put in that they will not need in the near future. For example, for paying rent, for paying your bills, etc., and so on and so on. So you need to keep that in mind. And it is very necessary to point this out, and it is because many investors enter this market with a very speculative mentality, believing that overnight they will become rich from the news that they usually see on the news, traditional media. And therefore, they invest an amount absurd of money, and they cannot afford to lose, because they took so much time to acquire or to earn this money. So it is very difficult for they to lose it. It is very necessary to point this out, and it is because many new investors enter this market with a very speculative mentality, believing that overnight they will become rich, and in the news that usually appears in the traditional media, and therefore they invest an absolute amount of money, so they end up losing it. Let me see. Okay, tip number 3, set up a strategy in 2022. This is another very important tip for you to take into account. It is advisable when investing to always have a strategy, both entry and exit. The moment when you entry, or the moment when you get in, and the moment when you get out of that investment. Identify how far you want to go in profits, which is not usually difficult, at first. How much is the maximum you can lose, and the term you're willing to wait to obtain profits on that investment, which is short term, medium term, or long term. I'm going to explain to you these 3 things in a few moments. We generally tend to underestimate the importance of this point, focusing more and more on profits. However, considering it will help us set a strategy that is more in line with our interest, and generally not being so affected by market fluctuations. Keep that in mind. If we talk about deadlines to set our investment strategy for 2022, we must understand that there are 3 which could subjectively vary what would the time correspond to each one, but they are short-term, days, weeks, up to 3 or to 6 months. Remember, short term, days, weeks, up to 3 or 6 months. Medium term, 6 months to a year or a year and a half, medium term. And long term, it means 2 years, 4 years, or even more. You need to take into account these deadlines because in that way, it is going to be easier to set a strategy. And it is all about knowing yourself and understanding which one is more comfortable for you. That is the way you do it. That is the way you set up strategy. Take into account short, medium, and long term. Tip number 4, do not buy in FOMO or nor sell in panic. I'm going to explain to you this, and this is quite important for you to understand because the market generally moves in cycles, responding to the emotions and feelings of individuals, moving from complete disbelief to overly optimistic. And when this tends to happen, assets prices skyrocket. You know, they go to the moon. And as human beings, we are up to feel like we are missing out on juicy gains or we are missing out an opportunity. So we see that everyone talks about it and we are not at that party and we do not want to miss the opportunity to be there. So that is why you need to keep that in mind. This feeling is known as FOMO, the fear of missing an opportunity. It is the fear of being left out of the market. And it is also what most of the time leads us to make mistakes that pay dearly with losses. Only luck makes it work, and it is necessary to know that this is not about luck or gambling. It is always best to avoid making purchases under the influence of the market. The same things happens when being already inside the market. Large decline occur, and we see how the investment loses value and we enter a state of alert. This uncertainty is generated when we do not have a defined strategy and leads us to sell at a loss because there is no direction, concrete ideas, or confidence in what was invested. So this is another very important tip to have in mind for this 2022. My invitation for you is to take control of your investments. Take control of them. Yeah, you need to do that for this 2022. In this 22, the idea is to win. Try not to make the most common mistakes in these paths. It will become easier and calmer for you. Buy cheap and sell expensive. Do not get carried away by emotions. Buy when no one talks about it and sell when everyone wants to buy it. But above all, be patient. So keep that in mind. Those 4 tips. Let me remind you the 4 tips to invest in cryptos in 2022. Number 1, educate yourself. Staying informed will avoid many inconveniences. Number 2, do not invest more than you can lose. Number 3, establish a 2022 strategy. Number 4, do not buy in FOMO nor sell in panic. As you can see, there is a link down below, which is the source of this info that I'm sharing with you, so that you can share it with someone else. If you find this info interesting, please hit the share button, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can receive more of this info later on, and share it with the world. And you can also follow me on my other social media, such as Instagram, Javier Orozco, at javierorozco.im, Instagram for at digitalwealth.w, on Facebook at javierorozco.im, digitalwealth.w, and YouTube, Javier Orozco, my YouTube channel, and also for my YouTube channel for this community, which is Digital Web. So those are my social media. I want you to follow me on those so that you can find more my info later on. And as you can see, this info is pretty good selected just for you to take it into account in this 2022. And let me remind you that for this 2022, we are going to have the best year of your life. So you need to take into account this info and make a good decision. Make a good decision and to make it the best year for you. So see you soon. Until the next video, take care. Bye bye.